You're watching college basketball here on the ACC Network Extra. Good afternoon, everyone. We welcome you to Raleigh, North Carolina, inside the PNC Arena as the 8-2 Wolfpack, winners of 6 in a row, 6 at home, 3 straight against the Fairfield Stags at 5-3 on the year. Hello, everyone. I'm Andrew Sanders alongside Ernie Myers. So glad to have you on board. It is a good crowd on hand here in the PNC, ready to watch the Wolfpack try to contend with Amadou Sidibe, who 12 rebounds a game, 3rd in the country, and nearly averaging a double-double per game.
Oh, that's awesome. He's an unbelievable athlete. Averaging a double-double in this day and age on any team is a great accomplishment.
NC State rebounding has been a problem at times this season. You see out-rebounded in 6 of 10 games this year, so they need their bigs to step up against a guy like Sidibe.
Oh, absolutely. They got to keep him off the boards. They got to find him and box him out, and so we won't be out-rebounded this game. So, they got to get it done.
For NC State, offensively, Dennis Smith Jr. has been unbelievable. The #1 point guard recruit in the country, throwing down a windmill against Tennessee State as an exclamation point. You see what he's done so far this year. Earning huge expectations for Dennis Smith, but he's been able to live up to
Oh,
him.
he's absolutely living up to him. He started off kind of slow this year, but he hadn't played in 2 years. So he's getting it together. He seems like he's found his rhythm. Looking forward to some extra great games from him as the year goes on.
You see it's Smith, Dorn, Henderson, Abu, and Anya for the Wolfpack. Pretty familiar lineup for Coach Gottfried as we are underway. Malik Abu will control the tip. A Stag to keep your eye on, Tyler Nelson, #3. He leads the MAC in scoring, just a hair under 20 points per game. Torin Dorn will get an open 3 and misses everything. Saved by Smith, and Millen comes away with it.
Yeah, we have to get back in transition defense. That's what Coach talked about earlier in practice.
Open baseline shot for Sidibe, and he knocks it down.
Great shot by Sidibe. Wide open jumper.
Amadou Sidibe is a great story. He's a graduate student, 5th-year senior. Had a couple of knee surgeries last year, missed the entire year. Dorn, tough look, and a foul underneath. He'll go to the line.
Yeah, State looks kind of confused to start the game.
Foul goes against Sidibe. His first, team's first. Yeah, unusual for Torin Dorn to miss an open 3 that badly. He's been shooting 50% from three-point range. Not a small sample size, 15 of 30.
Yeah, he's been shooting the ball unbelievably from 3.
Makes both free throws, and we're even. Here's Jerome Segura. Not really a scoring threat, but can really dish it out for Fairfield. Playing in a tough road environment, and for the Stags, this is their first game in 12 days.
Yeah, they have to get back in game shape after that long length of time.
Segura will pass up the shot. He finds Nelson. He can stroke it.
Yeah, you got to get on that guy. You can't get a hand in his face.
The junior from Bradford, Massachusetts. 19.9 points a game and a great three-point shooter, better than 36%. That's his 18th 3 of the season. Here's a good three-point shooter for the Wolfpack.
Oh, yes. Great shot by Terry Henderson. Had his feet set, waiting for the ball.
There's so many options on this Wolfpack team that at times Henderson could potentially be overlooked, but he's a redshirt senior, averaging nearly 17 points a game, and he's shooting it really well, about 39% from deep.
Oh, absolutely. We need him. He's one of our glue guys.
Ball stay down on this end for the Stags. On the drive from Nelson, 11 on the shot clock. Here's another look at the Henderson shot. They missed him last year. He was injured. In the first 7 minutes of the opener. Nelson will try a deep 3. He's got range, not this time.
He has a great looking stroke.
When you are a shooter and you knock down that first one, it gives you the confidence to let it fly from a little deeper. Nelson got a hand on the pass. Henderson will shoot over him, and he's 2 for 2.
Great shot by Terry. He looks in rhythm.
Sidibe will hand off to Nelson. And it was last touched by Henderson. So NC State looking to get some outside scoring, and they've been really able to rely on Henderson for that. And we've got a whistle. And he calls Malik Abu for crossing over the baseline. It's your job guarding that inbounds pass, Ernie. You want to get as close to that line as you can.
Absolutely. Just don't want to go over it.
And Millen, with his size, able to catch, and he finds Curtis Cobb.
Yeah, Curtis Cobb is a good ball player, great athlete. They expect a lot from him this year.
Part of a really good now sophomore class for the Stags. Made up of 4 guys last year that led the MAC in freshman scoring. Cobb, maybe the best piece of that puzzle.
Great move by B.J. Anya.
And the pace the other way, Cobb off a made basket, able to get up and down the floor.
Yeah, a transition defense is going to be a big key in this game. They have to get back.
And we expect both teams to look to run when they have opportunities. Abu couldn't hit the face-up shot. And quickly Segura again moving the other way. The Serbian Millen gives it up, gets it right back. Segura into
great
traffic.
D by Dennis.
And it's a 3-on-2. Dorn will finish. And again, here comes Fairfield.
Right away.
Bucket.
State has to get back on defense.
Good hands from Dennis Smith leads to the transition basket.
Yeah, Dennis Smith kept that ball play in front of him and caused that steal and made that play.
And a big cheer from the crowd here, because here is the freshman center, Omer Yurtseven. He sat out 9 games and was, I would say, back, but he was initially in for the first time in his college career against Appalachian State. And with him arriving and being able to play, this is now a Mark Godfrey team that is finally whole. All the pieces of the puzzle are there, and a block down low by Dennis Smith.
Dennis Smith gets a block a game.
Just comes flying through there to swat Sidibe's shot away.
Yeah, he does. He kind of leans back and waits for the opportunity, and then he jumps up and blocks the shot.
15 on the shot clock. Nelson directs traffic. Abu really pushing up on Millen, who can shoot that 3-point shot. He'll shoot over him. Tough shot.
That's a tough shot.
And I think the crowd influenced Millen. There was more time on the shot clock than he thought. They were counting down.
Yeah, he heard the crowd and threw up a shot.
Smith Jr. NC State is torrid from downtown thus far. They're now 3 of 4.
Yeah, we're really heating up from 3. They're really heating up from 3.
So we'll have an official timeout here. NC State leads it 15-10 in the early going, thanks to the outside shooting of Terry Henderson and Dennis Smith. Both teams off to a good start here, a high-scoring start in the PNC Arena at the first media timeout. Here with Ernie Myers, I'm Andrew Sanders. Glad to have you back. A look at the coaches. The head coach of Fairfield is Sidney Johnson in his 6th season. Coach Johnson, previously 4 years the head coach at Princeton, where he was 2-time Ivy League Coach of the Year. He was an assistant at Georgetown under John Thompson III. He was also quite a player. He's led the Stags to 3 postseason tournaments in his 5. Now this is his 6th season. Fairfield's got themselves a really good coach, Ernie.
Oh, absolutely. He's done a great job. 3 tournaments in 5 years, and he's got a good team here today.
Looking for his guys to push the ball even after made baskets.
Great
Here's
shot.
A pretty little touch from Nelson.
He's not just a shooter. He can go to the hole as well.
Mabu's left open in the middle of that zone, and the pass is tipped away. Cobb head up into the corner. And the three is knocked down by Jerry Johnson Jr.
Great shot from the corner, just simple pass.
Johnson was in double figures, scored 12 points in their last game, which was, again, remember, 12 days ago against Bucknell. 12 points off the bench. Yurt 7 misses a little right hook shot.
Yeah, Coach Johnson said he's been playing well.
Cobb, he'll pull the trigger for three. And a defensive rebound. Thus far, we talked about NC State needing to rebound, Ernie. They have held Fairfield for the most part to just one shot. Sidibe comes away with it.
Yeah, they're getting the rebounds.
Johnson will put it on the deck.
Great defense. They converged on him and made him throw a bad pass.
Here's a look at the three, and you got to guard Johnson. He is a role player, but as I told you, double figures last game out. He's done that twice off the bench this season, and his career high, 25 points, which came last year when he knocked down 7 of 9 threes.
We got to stop him, and they have to stop him in transition. State does.
Maverick Rowan into the ball game for the first time, as is Ted Capita for the Wolfpack. Capita will get a touch here. And NC State is having trouble with this zone right now.
Yeah, they have a matchup zone, and it's causing some difficulty.
Fairfield, a little 5-0 run. Nelson probing, and somehow got it to fall.
Wow, that was an awesome shot.
Nelson's got 7 points. None tougher than those two. Nearly a jump ball, but he had the upper body strength to be able to muscle it up off the glass. They really like Yurt 7's ability to pass. Henderson's been hot. He's 3 for 3.
Yeah, we keep shooting like that, there won't be any rebounds.
They just keep giving the ball to Henderson. Millen thought about that three. Johnson will try another. And you kind of get the sense in the early going of this game, Ernie, the pace is going to be really fun to watch, and both teams able, if they keep shooting threes like this, we're in for a really high-scoring affair. Henderson,
absolutely.
Again!
Terry Henderson's on fire right now.
12 for Henderson. Coach Johnson wants timeout.
Great timeout.
And right
they need
there,
to find Henderson.
You've seen him make three. You can't leave him open in the corner for a four.
Yeah, after you see the guy knock down three, you got to find that guy. He's balanced, and he's just raining threes.
3 assists for Dennis Smith Jr. You see him feeding Henderson, and right there, when you're playing against the matchup zone, if a guy gets hot like that, do you think Coach Johnson will come? We've seen it force some turnovers, but at this point, it seems like NC State's getting too many good looks.
Yeah, he might have to go to a man. I know he doesn't like playing man, but he might have to go. They have to find our shooters.
One thing is for sure, Coach Johnson really focuses on defense. In his tenure a couple years ago, he led the Stags to the best defense in the MAC when he was at Princeton. Tigers had the #1 defense in the country one year. So he really preaches defense, and that's why he was so unhappy as Cobb stepped on the sideline. That's why he was so unhappy with that back-to-back made threes from Henderson. There's the NC State coach, Mark Gottfried, in his 6th season. Missed the tournament for the first time in his tenure at NC State last year, and looking to get this team back, you know, with all of those missing pieces that are now together there, Ernie. NC State is certainly feeling like they've got the ability to go to the tournament again.
Yeah, they have a deep bench. So it's in the way they're playing right now with the 2 new additions to the team with the big fella. I can see them making it to the tournament.
Rowan misses short. Long rebound goes to Segura, and he just tripped. Didn't look like there was any contact. Markel Johnson getting his first minutes, a freshman point guard, part of that NC State recruiting class that was top 20 in the country. And it's one of those recruiting classes that in hindsight, depending on how good Yurt 7 can be, pretty pass into Capito, who missed it. Right now, 3 members of that recruiting class on the floor. It might be better than top 20 when you look back on it. Here's Millen for 3.
Yeah, I love Johnson. He's a glue guy. He gets everything going. Usually great things happen when he's on the floor.
Terry Henderson fouls. He'll be shooting 2 when we come back from the timeout. It's been the Terry Henderson show thus far. He leads all scorers with 12 points and is perfect from the floor. Wednesday is the Blue Gas State rivalry. Blue versus Red, Calipari versus Patino. Number 6 Kentucky versus number 11 Louisville. Coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN. It's a holiday hoops matchup presented by Zales, and it's also a Sonic blockbuster game. Coach Cal leads Coach Patino 8-1 since 2010. Terry Henderson to the free throw line. Speaking of Coach Cal in Kentucky, many of you college basketball fans saw Malik Monk score 47 points yesterday.
That was unbelievable.
And I don't know if Henderson will have a shot to score something like 47 in this one, but he's been shooting it awfully well early on.
Hey, anything can happen.
Misses the free throw.
Pack fans would love to see that.
The pace of this game has been excellent so far. Fairfield trailing by 5. Last time they were trailing by 5, they went on a quick 5-0 run. Millen is open. They missed it. There's the offensive rebound.
That's
it's
what we're
Sidibe.
talking about. We got to find that guy and box him out.
It was Jonathan Kasababu, pardon me. Kasababu getting his first minutes. With the basketball now marked by Yurt 7. Kasababu, a starter, that is now kind of filling out as more of a role player with as good as Sidibe has played. Nelson off the back iron. He started the first 3 games this year, and they like what Millen provides along with Sidibe, but he's still playing big minutes and playing well. About 20 minutes a game for Kasababu. Yurt 7, free throw line jumper.
Great shot by Yurt 7.
And you can see why he's so highly touted, Ernie, because not only is he mobile and has good fundamentals, but he can knock down that shot all at 7 foot tall. It doesn't come along very often.
No, you don't see that very often. He's sort of like a stretch 5, what they would call in the NBA, a big guy, 7-footer that can stroke it.
It's now 5 Fairfield turnovers as Johnson stepped out of play. Just able to attack that zone.
And that's what State needs, a guy that can hit that mid-range jumper right from the top.
It's a 9-0 Wolfpack run, and with the basketball. Full court pressure from the Stags. Rowan is fouled. This is before the shot. He wants it counted, maybe at the next level.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that foul will go against Curtis Cobb, his first, and the team's third.
Yurt 7 is very patient. Even though he hasn't played in 9 games, he's very measured in the way he plays. He's not rushing anything.
In the lane, right hook. Ooh. And the rebound is Sidibe. Nelson with the shot fake. Now he goes up with it. And he'll be called for a cheap foul. Just a little reach in. We talked about rebounding is going to be a big key in this game, but both teams are shooting so well, there just haven't been that many to go around.
Absolutely. They've been knocking these shots down. State has been on fire. And so has Fairfield.
Yeah, Fairfield just over the last couple of possessions has cooled off a little bit during this 9-0 Wolfpack run, but NC State up above 50% shooting.
Great move. He took his time, gathered himself, and threw a nice jump hook.
Stags turn the ball over once again. Now 6 turnovers. Just too much size down there, even with Sidibe as good as he is. when Yurt 7 gets that kind of position, how do you stop him?
You can't stop him. He has his back to the basket. He's 7 foot, and he has a long wingspan.
Open three. This is Maverick Rowan.
Great pass by Yurt 7 to the corner.
Capita boards up the miss. Maverick Rowan, one of those missing pieces. Smith Jr. will try a three. NC State is 7 of 10 from behind the arc.
Yeah, they're really on fire right now.
32 points for the Pack, just over the halfway mark. Smith kicked it there, and it's a 17-0 run.
They got to find State in transition defense, because their State is just spotting up and just knocking down shots.
First minutes for Dennis Sellen. And this is blocked out of bounds. It's interesting, both of these teams have a freshman center from Turkey. We've seen Yurt 7 at NC State, and now Chellan getting his first minutes.
And they're recruiting guys from all over the world now.
Truly is a global game.
Absolutely.
Nearly an errant pass from Chellan. They get the ball in Nelson's hands when they really need a bucket. He'll hoist up a three, and it was a tough one over Johnson. He gets the long rebound, looking to run. NC State will slow it up.
Way to slow it out and put it back out.
For Fairfield, a team that we saw wanted to get out and run early, when you're trailing like this, does that cause you to slow down at all, or do you keep trying to do what you do?
You got to keep trying to do what you do. You got to find your rhythm and keep playing. That's the only way you're going to get out of a situation like this.
It was 15-15, what seems like just a moment ago with the pace of this game. And Yurt 7 is fouled by Sidibe. That's going to be his second.
Yeah, Fairfield, they just have to keep playing. You know, they just can't, let State just continue to, shoot threes. They got to guard the perimeter.
Well, for the Stags, you feel like NC State's not going to shoot 70% all night, right? But that's a big foul on Sidibe. He's got 5 straight double-doubles, and the last time he didn't have a double-double, he was in foul trouble. That's really the only thing that can keep him away from those double figures. But he's on the bench with 2 right now, and Capita will draw a foul on Chellan.
Well, with our huge lineup that we have out there, I can see why he has 2 fouls. He plays very aggressively.
Capita to the free throw line. He missed 4 games this year, missed the opener, and also missed the 3 games in the Paradise Jam. And what they really like from the big guy is not just his motor, but when he goes to the charity stripe, he gets fouled. He's a 73% shooter.
And that's huge for a big guy. Free throw shooting is kind of a lost art.
Helps you pad those stats. Gives you a couple more points per game.
Oh,
easy,
absolutely.
if you just improve your free throw shooting. Capita
yeah,
is good.
And for a guy like him, an energy guy, and when he gets fouled and able to go to the line and knock him down, that's huge for State.
Probably not the shot that Coach Johnson and the Stags were looking for. Oh, what a move. Dennis Smith Jr., he missed the lay-in. Here comes Johnson. 3-on-2, he's got Rowan on his hip. He will finish. Foul underneath on Henderson. It's the first foul on Terry Henderson, and that will take us to the under 8 timeout. But NC State, a 19-0 run, thanks in large part to the three-point shooting. The Pack, 7 of 10 from deep. Welcome back here on the ACC Network Extra. Andrew Sanders, Ernie Myers with you here. NC State doubling up Fairfield here at the under 8 timeout. And the Wolfpack finally whole again. The puzzle pieces are there. Capita missed 4, Rowan missed 7, Yurt 7 misses 9. And this is his second game back. So Ernie, they're looking at this as kind of a mini season here before they get into conference play. It started with Appalachian State. It was a 97-64 win. Fairfield here, McNeese State, and Ryder. And then just before the new year on December 31st, they go at Miami. So that little stretch of 4 games is when NC State and Mark Gottfried's team are trying to gel.
And it seems like they're gelling. I mean, you know, Capita, he's a great rebounder, great energy guy. Yurt 7's coming in, being an offensive threat and making low post moves. And Rowan on the three-pointers, he's just knocking them down. So, yeah, they're coming into their own right about the right time.
So Fairfield ends that spurt from the Wolfpack. 19-0. And Smith Jr. turned it over, threw it right to Cobb. Here's Johnson. And he's fouled by Rowan. So off of the turnover right before the timeout and then right after, we see Johnson going to the rim. And he's gotten fouled both times. That kind of helps you out when you're trailing like that.
Oh, absolutely. Getting to the line, you're stopping the clock, and hopefully you knock these 2 free throws down and you find yourself inching back into the game.
Yeah, Fairfield 0 for their last 10 from the field. So when you're struggling, Johnson recognizing you got to get to the line. He's done that, and he's making his free throws.
Yeah, you have to get a rhythm. Once you start seeing shots go in the basket, even if they're free throws, you start getting some courage back.
Rowan out, Dorn in. It's interesting that it's Johnson who's been the guy that's going to the line because, as I told you, he's more of a three-point bomber, the sophomore from Memphis. He had just taken 2 free throws all year.
Well, when you're taking 3, you're not getting fouled a lot.
That's right.
But he knocked those 2 down.
The Stags trying to see how NC State deals with some full court pressure. Here at 7, drops his shoulder. And there's a big board from Casababu.
I thought he got fouled on that. But obviously the ref didn't.
Wolfpack by 13. Nelson. Ball finds its way to Johnson, and he's a little short. And immediately Coach Johnson in the Fairfield sideline calling out the defensive play.
And sometimes when you've been off for 12 days, it takes a while for your shot to get back.
Yeah, Henderson certainly didn't start off cold. It's like he played yesterday and the day before with his shot. That's his first miss, and he gets an offensive rebound. And that'll work. Henderson with 15 first-half points. And Nelson's not going to miss too many of those, but as you said, Fairfield in this first half still trying to shake the rust off a bit.
Yeah, they're trying to shake it off. They still have to continue to play their game.
Everything flowing through Yurt 7, and Capita throws it down.
Great pass by Yurt 7. He has vision for a big guy.
The vision, the touch, and every time he's getting a touch right there at the free throw line. Fairfield's having to make a tough decision.
There's Johnson.
And Johnson has got 3 threes. Pardon me, 2 threes.
He's a gamer.
So he's into double figures again off the bench. And Capita will be called for the foul as he gets Casababu. Here's another look at the alley-oop.
Awesome. That's Yurt 7. He just he turns, always has the ball high, and makes a great pass.
You could see the 2 baseline defenders got sucked up when he put that ball on the floor just once. He's wide open.
He could have took the shot, but he passed it for the dunk.
So you see in Mark Gottfried's UCLA offense, when Yurt 7 is in that high post, that's exactly the kind of player that he's looking for. Smith gets the steal. Millen is reaching in. That's his first.
Great hustle by Smith. He's playing the passing lane perfectly.
Coach Johnson not happy with that turnover and not happy with, in general, the number of turnovers that his Stags have gotten here in this first half. That's 7 of them.
Again, those 12 days and trying to get back and on the road against a tough NC State ball club, that's going to happen.
So this is the 7th foul, but there's no free throws coming. It was a team-controlled foul. And that's why there will not be a 1-and-1 for Dennis Smith Jr. here. Appreciate Tim Nestor and the officials keeping us in the loop.
Yes.
And that ball saved in bounds. Dorn thought he was going to throw a pass for a dunk, but not on the same page.
Yeah, he was looking for Anya, but Anya wasn't looking for him.
So as you called Johnson a gamer, he's certainly seeming to put this offense on his shoulders right now. Again, he's not a guy that generally will go to the rim as much, but he's been banged up with an ankle injury. He's played in just 4 games. As he's gotten healthier, he's shown the ability to do that more often, and it's really making a difference for Fairfield in this game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's going to have to continue to do this in order for them to get back into this game.
And I was talking with some Fairfield people before the game, and they're really excited. They said, hey, look at him. I mean, he is built like not a mid-major player.
No, he has a nice upper body. He looks very strong.
Kasababu went out for the steal. And NC State couldn't convert it into an open shot until now. Henderson goes down.
Oh!
Abu! Throw it down!
That was nasty. He came out of nowhere and just tore the rim down with that one.
Abu has struggled at times early in the season. One thing he doesn't struggle with is fighting gravity.
No, he has a 44-inch vertical leap for a guy his size. It's unbelievable.
Well, he showcases it there, and that just might get him going. Good ball movement from the Stags. Cobb cannot convert.
Yeah, they're cold from 3.
Dorn will try a 3. NC State still well over 50% from deep. Still nothing falling for the Stags. This time it's Chellan. Abu working baseline. He's fouled.
Yeah,
That
sometimes you need a dunk to wake you up and get you back in the game. Big energy play like that.
Abu gives the Wolfpack a 14-point lead. Welcome back, everyone. NC State 40, Fairfield 26 in the first ever meeting between these two schools on the men's basketball court. He's Ernie Myers, I'm Andrew Sanders, and Ernie, Fairfield, they started 3 of 5 from deep. They were playing right with NC State. Since then, they have gone ice cold, just 1 of 14, and really, if it hadn't been for Jerry Johnson Jr. taking the ball to the rim and getting fouled, they might be down 20 right now.
Yeah, he's a godsend because, like you said, it had not been for him trying to take control of the game and go into the hole, they'd probably be down 25 right now. But they, I think they're just cold. They've been off, almost half a month, haven't played a game, and I think they will shoot better in the second half.
Yeah, I'm a big law of averages guy, and a team that shoots it as well as Fairfield does, they're not going to be that cold for that long. It's interesting because both of these teams shoot 35% from 3. NC State's just a bit better by, a hundredth place, but they have been miles better so far this afternoon. NC State 7 of 13 compared to just 4 of 19 for the Stags. So that should level itself out as the game goes along.
And what's bothering them also, State's playing great perimeter defense.
That shot, which came late in the shot clock, is Cobb was on the baseline when he tried to throw it out. That's not going to help your 3-point average, as NC State playing really solid defense there.
Yeah, they definitely are. They're playing great perimeter D right now, and they're giving Fairfield a lot of problems.
Maverick Rowan. This is in rhythm off the back iron, and Cobb rebounds, puts his head down and goes. He finds the shooter, Nelson. There it is.
Great shot in transition. State has to get back and defend that. But that was a great shot in transition. Nelson
now with 10 points. He's got over 1,000 for his career for the Stags. Went over it just earlier in this half.
That's a great accomplishment for any ball player in college to go over 1,000.
Ernie, I know you like that play from Torin Dorn.
Oh, that was awesome. That's a hustle play. He's a glue guy. You need that guy on your team.
Nelson with a little heat check, but it wasn't to be. Yeah, 1,000 points in his career, just a junior. Rowan can really shoot it too.
Yeah, he took that shot in rhythm. He knew that shot was going down before he shot it.
So how about this NC State team? Again, this is Wolfpack fans. They got to see him against Appalachian State. The Wolfpack scored 97 points in that game as Rowan commits the foul.
And there's Johnson again. He forced that foul.
Much to Rowan's dismay, but there's a look at the shot. 97 against Appalachian State. They've got 46 here with a couple of minutes left in the first half. And when all the pieces are together for Mark Gottfried, it looks like this team's going to be able to score with the best of them.
Oh, absolutely. We have the shooters. State has the shooters, and they're finding their spots, and they're knocking the shots down. I think that as the year progresses, as these guys get to play more and more together, you're going to see a lot more scoring from this team.
That foul on Rowan is his second, so he joins Terry Henderson of NC State with a couple of fouls. Millen back in, comes in for Chellin. 5 international players for Coach Johnson and Fairfield. And here comes shirt 7 to a good hand from the crowd as BJ Anya comes out. The 5 international players, 2 from Serbia, 1 from Canada, Turkey, and the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Wow, you talk about international ball players. A lot of these guys come to the States and they play in camps and they move here and live here, and so I know they're not going to these countries recruiting these guys.
Tough pass. Rowan couldn't track it down. It's another turnover for Dennis Smith, which is rare to see.
Yeah, that was an unforced type of turnover. You rarely see that from Dennis Smith.
Interesting note on both Smith and his other freshman backcourt mate, Markel Johnson. The 2 freshmen averaging just about 1 turnover every 16 minutes of games played, which is unreal for 2 freshmen.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Well, that's a good move from Casababu.
Yeah, you would think 2 freshmen, but they're great ball players, and they're taking care of the ball.
Casababu able to score above yurt 7. Not easy to do. A true 7-footer. Here he is with the ball. Casababu all over him. And 3 seconds is called on the Wolfpack. Not one you see called too often.
No, not in this game. They've been jacking up threes. You don't see that 3-second call called too much in the game anymore.
So Fairfield, they've cut it to 12. Needed a good possession here to close out the half strong. And a reach-in foul as Casababu goes towards the rim.
That was a strong move by Casabasu.
First foul on Dennis Smith.
It didn't seem like it was a lot of contact on that last play.
That's just the 6th team foul for NC State, so no free throws forthcoming, but they'll take this. An open 3 for Nelson. Yes!
They're starting to heat up.
And just like that,
they're back in the game.
As well as NC State has shot in this first half, and they put up 46 points, but the Stags have cut it to single digits here. Abu will take a long 2. And Dorn is called for a shove in the back, which allowed him to get that rebound.
Yeah, he kind of pushed him in the back to get the advantage.
Just the first foul on Dorn. And it'll be 1-and-1 situation here at the free throw line.
With these free throws, they can cut it under, get it under 10 going into the half.
It'll be the sophomore from Fall River, Massachusetts, Curtis Cobb, who pairs very nicely with Tyler Nelson, and that's because as he makes the free throw, the two played AAU ball together. They actually won a national championship a couple of years ago, so able to take that relationship into college.
Yeah, that's awesome when you can get in the game with a guy that you've been playing with and won.
Pressure from the Stags as NC State will call timeout. Fairfield has gone on a 10-0 run to cut it to 7 here. And NC State and Mark Gottfried want to talk about this final possession and a half and close it out with some points. So, Ernie, we've seen the old cliche is basketball is a game of runs. We know that to be true. But
yes.
Earlier, NC State on a 19-0 run. Now Fairfield on a 10-0 run. What has changed?
Well, just Fairfield is knocking down shots in transition. You know, they're getting wide open looks. We're not playing great transition defense.
Right.
So they're spotting up and getting their shots. And like you said, the law of averages, they're a pretty good shooting team. They're starting to get in rhythm and they're knocking these shots down.
Glad you credited me with that. Well, it's not my idea, but yeah, I'm a big law of averages guy. You knew Fairfield wasn't going to be that cold, especially from three-point range. Got some looks for Nelson. Casababu had that strong move underneath. And so after the timeout here, NC State looked to hold for the last shot. On the floor, it's Dorn with the basketball. They'll probably get it to Dennis Smith here, number 4 in white, in a couple of moments. Great denial from Segura. Means Dorn has to go to the rim. He is blocked, but a foul. And Casababu got the ball.
He also got him with the body.
Yep.
It's a great move by Dorn.
So Dorn will go to the free throw line. About a 75% free throw shooter. Has been part of that big three for the Wolfpack that have been playing so many minutes. Dorn, Henderson, and Dennis Smith. And you see why they've been playing so many minutes. But again,
they play well together. I mean, and these guys are knocking down shots. And, you know, the perimeter game is going to be what we need as the season progresses.
2 seconds left. Segura will give it a heave. It's good if it goes. And so the half will end on a couple of free throws from Dorn. NC State scores 48 in the first half to take a 9-point lead into the halftime locker room. We'll step aside and be back in a couple of minutes here on the ACC Network Extra. Here at the halftime break, it's 48-39, NC State in the lead. We welcome you courtside here in the PNC Arena. I'm Andrew Sanders. He's Ernie Myers. Ernie, we got to see a blistering pace to the first half of this game. It's been a fun one.
Oh, absolutely. The up and down. I love the up and down game. State knocking down threes, playing great transition defense. Yes, it's been a great game. Great first half.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the leading scorers in this game thus far. Terry Henderson got off to a red-hot start. He leads all scorers with 15, but NC State getting plenty of contributions, Dorn, Smith, and Rowan as well.
Oh, absolutely. Those are the big three right there, you know, and Rowan is getting involved. I know when he got back into game shape that he was going to make a difference in the way State is playing, because he's too good of a shooter to be kept out of the game.
For Fairfield, Jerry Johnson has been outstanding, along with Tyler Nelson. Both of them are in double figures, 15 points for Johnson and 13. So let's take a look now, Ernie, as we're kind of in that lull of the season. The exams are over. We're still in the holidays, so we've got a couple of games before conference play. Let's take a look at the ACC and the current standings, see what some of these teams have done in the non-conference. And Boy, Duke, a lot of people think are the best team in the country. They still haven't seen Harry Giles, but North Carolina getting a loss. That's actually 2 losses for them, I'm sure Wolfpack fans are saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Put that other one up
so
there.
I'll go ahead and acknowledge that because I know they want me to. But Florida State has been very good. This is maybe the best the league has ever been, Ernie, flat out. It's a great league.
Oh, it's going to be an awesome league. The top teams in the country are here. If you're a ball player, this is the type of league you want to be in. You want to be in the best league. You want to play against the best, top to bottom. It's going to be interesting as the season progresses.
Yeah, NC State will start off on December 31st at Miami, so that's a big game to keep an eye on. But they've got to handle a tough Fairfield team here. Fairfield closing out the half really strong and on a 10-0 run. So we will go to break with our halftime score, NC State 48, Fairfield 39. Back here in the city of Oaks, Raleigh, North Carolina, NC State with a 9-point halftime lead. Thank you so much for tuning in here on the ACC Network Extra. Along here with Ernie Myers, I'm Andrew Sanders. Ernie, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Fairfield started out hot from 3, where they were 3 of 5. Then they cooled down mightily. That led to a massive NC State run. And really fueling that was Terry Henderson. Boy, he just couldn't miss. He made his first 4 threes.
Hey, he was on fire. I mean, he was just knocking threes down. He was balanced. His stroke looks great. And he was wide open in a lot of those shots. You just can't leave a shooter like him open like that.
Yeah, and that shot led to a timeout by Coach Sidney Johnson because he wanted to talk to his team about defending. They certainly did better as the half went along. You see the Wolfpack just about 36%. That's if you round up. They're actually at about 359, so 11th in the ACC, but that has been a big difference here today. And for me at least, tell me if I'm right, it seems like they're getting a lot of open looks off of Yurt 7 at the free throw line when the defense collapses around him.
Oh, absolutely. And York, he keeps the ball high. That's what you want your big men to do. And he has vision for a big guy. He's not just looking to score all the time. He's looking to find guys that can knock shots down, or as you saw before, he threw an alley-oop pass. For 2 big guys, you may be able to throw a 7-footer, just throw an alley-oop pass for a dunk.
Right.
I mean, that's unbelievable.
But Fairfield closing out the half on a 10-2 run. They did so by stopping the turnovers that we saw early. They turned NC State over a couple of times, but for the most part, both teams have been very clean with the basketball. Just 7 for the Stags and 6 turnovers for the Wolfpack. We'll step aside once more and be back in just a couple of minutes here on the ACC Network Extra. Monday, kick off the week with another bowl game. It's the Miami Beach Bowl between the 6-6 Central Michigan Chippewas and the high-flying 9-3 Tulsa Golden Hurricane. 2:30 Eastern on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app, and watch ESPN. It's that time of year. It's the holidays. That means a lot of bowl games. NC State going bowling the day after Christmas against Vanderbilt in Shreveport. Yeah, something I always enjoy this time of year.
Yeah, I'm spending Christmas in Shreveport with my wife. She's the SID for football, Annabelle. I love you, baby. Yeah, we're going to spend Christmas. We leave on the 22nd, and we head out there spending Christmas in Shreveport.
Yeah, a little mild weather, not a white Christmas, probably not. Let's take a look now, Ernie. What are some of your keys? Let's start for Fairfield because they're trailing. What are your keys for the Stags in the second half? What do they need to do better to get not just back into this game, because they got back with that run, but to take the lead and get a win on the road?
Well, they have to play better perimeter defense and better transition defense. And they got to find NC State shooters in transition and try to bother them on their shots. They're able to get back in the game and win it. What State has to do is continue to do what they've been doing, control the turnovers, and stop Fairfield in transition as well.
Well, as we were going over some of the halftime stats, I know something that caught your eye was that Dennis Smith Jr. has only taken 5 shots, but NC State has scored 48 points. So when they have all the pieces together, they haven't had to rely on him as much offensively.
No, he's distributing the ball. Guys are knocking shots down. He'll take over the game when he needs to. He has that ability.
Yeah, as we showed you, if you caught the very beginning of the show, we showed you some highlights from that Tennessee State game where he hit a couple of tough shots that NC State really needed in a game that went into overtime. It went to overtime because Smith hit a baseline fading away to his left as a righty. That was a baseline jumper that was almost impossible. And if he doesn't make that shot, Tennessee State is going to win that game. Immediately out of the halftime break, how about Curtis Cobb for three?
Yeah, that was from the other side of the court. I mean, that was a long three.
And after the three, a foul on Malik Abu, and that's his first. It was away from the ball, obviously, as Cobb makes it, but fighting for position. The official making kind of an elbow motion with Abu. So Fairfield gets a three and the ball back, and just like that, it's a 6-point game, and Nelson's driving.
And
fouled on the floor.
Fouled on the play. Yeah, that could be a 5-point turnaround right now in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's exactly what Fairfield was looking for in the halftime locker room. So that's the first foul on Abu. It's now the second foul on Dennis Smith Jr. And the possession continues for the Stags.
And now it's a 6-point game. They're back in the game.
Sidibe. Oh, he had some good spin, and he got the shooter's roll. So NC State goes into the halftime locker room with a 9-point lead. By the time they touch the ball in the second half, it's just 4.
It's a 4-point game now. Now we have to see what happens. State has to adjust and make some shots.
Well, Henderson's been doing that. Not this time. And underneath, a foul is going to be called on Cobb. Second foul on Cobb, first on the team. Again, it's been Henderson who's been leading the way for the Wolfpack, 15 points. Abu with a strong move.
Yeah, that was a strong move for Abu. He needed that. He needed to see a shot go down. That was a nice power move, drop step for Abu.
That was more fundamental for Malik Abu. We saw the spectacular on the putback dunk earlier, but this is a guy that has 18 career double-doubles. He's just been lacking in whatever he had last year that made him that double-doubles machine. He hasn't looked like quite the same guy. And again, they're trying to get him and everyone else acclimated together so that they are full steam ahead by the time conference season rolls around.
Yeah, we need State needs Abu to play well to have a successful season.
He's going to work, but he shuffled his foot, or he dragged that pivot foot. Mark Godfrey with his hands up. He's not so sure about it. Tim Nestor says otherwise. Fairfield on a 15-4 run and with the basketball. NC State had it up to 17 points. Johnson for three.
Great rebound by Abu.
And with Sidibe having those 2 fouls saddled on him earlier, he's back in, but we didn't really see the offensive rebounding from Fairfield that he can provide.
Dennis Smith can get it anywhere on the court with the basketball.
Little bounce pass in to Abu. Basket and the foul.
Strong move by Abu. Great pass by Anya. Our interior pass, the State's interior passing has been great this game between big guys.
Yeah, it really started with Yurt 7, and B.J. Anya taking a play out of the freshman's book there. One interesting note on Abu, much better free throw shooter this year than he was last year. He's about 77% this season.
Yeah, whenever you can get your big guy to shoot in that percentage range, it's awesome.
Nelson, boy, he is so smooth.
Yeah, Nelson is heating up. He's a ball player.
Trying to get the guys fired up. 16 points for Nelson now as he moves into the scoring lead.
He had a 38-point game against Ryder earlier this season.
Yeah, he did. One of just 16 guys nationally to have scored 38 or more. Millen is open in the corner. And, boy, Fairfield, they've had their share of open looks. That would have cut it to 3. So that little 5-0 run, the three-pointer, the foul underneath, and then the basket afterwards. Really made this early second half much tighter. Well, Henderson got away with the walk there. Last touch by Fairfield. And here comes Jonathan Casababu. Will come in for Mattia Millen.
So they got Sabibi and Casababu in at the same time.
And a steal from Sidibe. In transition, they work it around. Great ball movement. Open three for Cobb.
Yeah, that was great ball movement. They just couldn't knock it down.
Smith is open. The threes continue to rain for the Wolfpack. Now 9 of 17 from
Dennis
the bonus
caught that
sphere.
shot in rhythm and knocked it down.
And that's maybe been the one weakness of his game, is that he hasn't been shooting very well from outside. Just 27.5% on the year coming in, but he's made a couple here today, 3 for 4.
He's a make shots when you need him type of guy. That's what Dennis is. He goes to the hole, but he makes big shots.
So we'll head to break. NC State back up 9, but Fairfield with Cobb from outside, and then their do-it-all shooting guard, Tyler Nelson, keeping it close here in Raleigh. Wednesday, it's the Bluegrass State rivalry. Blue versus red, Calipari versus Pitino. Number 6 Kentucky versus number 11 Louisville. Coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN. It's a holiday hoops matchup presented by Zales, and it's a Sonic blockbuster. Wave off the basket, they say.
Torn Dorn did an old street ball play, threw it off the guy's back, caught it, and tried to lay it in.
And not only did it go off his back, but then it went through the other defenders. I think it was Casababu, went through his legs.
Yeah. I remember back in the day, Keith Gatlin did that to Kenny Smith at North Carolina and laid it in.
And
I haven't seen that play since then.
And you're at 7. You can see he was a little bit disappointed with the call, but you could see on that replay he certainly did touch it, and whether it was going to go in or not, he touched
on his
it.
face, but he wanted that three-point play.
The foul is called on Cobb, and for Cobb, that's 4. And this is a guy they really rely on offensively to go along with Nelson, but Nelson's sidekick going to be saddled with those 4 fouls on the bench. So with those free throws, NC State back up to double digits. A little heady play by Torren Dorn. Johnson for 3. And an offensive rebound. There's Sidibe.
There's Sidibe. He's a great offensive rebounder. Got to put a body on him.
He's been so quiet because he got those 2 fouls early on.
Tough shot.
Babu. He'll use the glass well.
He did on that play.
Henderson in rhythm. Again, oftentimes can be overlooked on this team, but he's as crucial as anyone.
Oh, absolutely.
And Millen answers in transition the other way. Fairfield, you talked to Mark Gottfried about this and how important transition D was going to be, and it's showing up here.
It's showing up. They just push the ball real quick after a score, right back at you.
Henderson is fouled on the way up. Sometimes that's the best defense. Yeah, you give up 3 or you give up 2 in some cases, but if you can get it back within 5 seconds, not as big of a problem.
Absolutely, and that's how Carolina does it. Over there at Chapel Hill, they get the ball out, push it right back in. That's a great way of, right after a score, just push the ball and get a score right back.
Henderson, 18 points, 6 rebounds, and a couple of assists.
Oh, he's as important as anybody on the team, Henderson. He's a senior. He's been through the wars, and he's having a great season.
Abu out. Ted Capita checks in. So right now on the floor for the Packets, you're at 7. Capita, Henderson, Dorn, and Smith. And for Fairfield, it's Nelson, Millen, Sidibe, Casababu, and Cobb. And they took, by the way, that foul away from Cobb. He was officially in there with 3, and I'm not sure who they changed it to. But it was in the table with
They're
4
moving the
for
ball
a second.
around very well.
So here is Cobb with those 3 fouls, and he's fouled on the floor. So says Les Jones.
Yeah, he caught York off balance in that drive to the basket. He's got to keep his hands straight up.
Yeah, Yurt 7 guilty of his first foul. Dorn comes out, Rowan comes in. So Fairfield going with a really big lineup right now with Millen along with Sidibe and Casababu. Playing without the point guard Segura. Nelson driving hard and had his shot swatted.
They played Petty Pat with that on the backboard.
NC State defending the paint. We haven't seen much pick and roll action between Smith and Yurt 7, but we expect to see that more. And Nelson, I tell you what.
Cheap foul. That was a cheap foul.
I tell you what, that's going to be Yurt 7's second. And Nelson might have embellished this one a little bit here.
Yeah, you know, he's acting a little bit.
It's interesting that the rule is if you go to the monitor to review a flagrant and you see the player flopped, you can assess that guy a foul. But in this situation, they're not gonna go to the monitor, so they won't assess a foul. But yeah, Nelson sold it. So credit him with the acting job there. Cobb for 3, and a long rebound. Some numbers for the Wolfpack. For the old fundamental off the glass.
That was a great pull-up by Henderson. It just didn't knock it down. A lot of times you see guys try to drive that to the basket and get called for an offensive. He pulled up and he just didn't knock it down.
Illegal screen on Jonathan Casababu. That's going to be his 3rd foul. So the foul trouble starting to mount up for Fairfield. They've got 3 players with 3, Casababu, Sidibe, and Cobb. For NC State, no player has 3 fouls. They do have 4 players with 2. Henderson fouled trying to pass it up. So
Henderson is attacking the glass. He's hitting 3s. He's playing awesome.
And that's Sidibe's 4th. 17th foul. So Henderson will be shooting. And it looks like, I believe they signaled that even though he was given the ball up there, they said he could have been shooting. So they're going to give him 2 free throws here, and they will. So not only does he get 2.
The ball, he was attacking the glass, and he got caught up in the air.
Against Sidibe, he's been quiet, and I told you that 5 straight double-doubles, but the last time he didn't get a double-double is because he picked up 4 fouls in that game, and he was saddled with fouls seemingly the whole game. That's been the story here tonight.
Yeah, I think State's height and big men has affected his game in regards to fouls.
Just 4 points, 5 rebounds for Amadou Sidibe. Johnson was impeded by Johnson, Jerry, and Markel. It's the first foul on Markel Johnson. And the 5th Wolfpack foul. So NC State had that 5-point run from Fairfield to open up the half. The Stags cut it to 4, but couldn't get any closer. Wolfpack have opened it up to 14, and Fairfield in desperate need of a basket here. Inside, Rowan will be whistled, and the whistles are starting to come early and often here. That's the 6th Wolfpack foul. And Rowan's 3rd.
Yeah, Fairfield needs a 3 here to get back into this game.
It's a Fairfield team, the best shooting team in the MAC, but they just haven't had that touch here in the PNC Arena. Johnson. Oh, a tough move.
Tough move. He can shoot it, take it to the hole. He's trying to keep his team in the game.
We'll go to break with the Wolfpack up 12, but Jerry Johnson willing his way to the basket. Can he keep Fairfield in it? NC State and Fairfield here in the PNC Arena, and the Stags in some foul trouble. Most notably, Amadou Sidibe, who's on the bench with 4 fouls right now, but also Cobb in some trouble, and Kasababu. Amadou Sidibe, told you about the 5 straight games with a double-double. He's almost averaging a double-double in the season. During that stretch of 5 games, that includes a game-winning tip-in on November 26th against Army. And so he has been playing outstanding. He's been, you know, that guy that can gobble up all the boards. 3rd in the country, nearly 12 rebounds a game. With him on the bench and the team trailing, we know Nelson's been scoring. Cobb's still out there with 3, but is Johnson that guy for you that needs to step up even more?
Yes, Johnson and Cobb and Nelson. In order for them to get back into this game, they're going to have to step it up.
Because they can't just be one guy.
No. All 3 of those guys have to get involved in the game, knock some shots down for them to get back into this game.
Capita will be shooting 1-1 on the blocking foul. And it goes against.
Capita's been playing well this game. He hasn't gotten real foul trouble. He's getting some minutes, and he's playing really well.
Foul was charged to number 2, Jerry Johnson. Just his first foul. So Capita will go to the line. And a note on Johnson, I told you he scored 12 against Bucknell off the bench. He's got 17 points. He's leading the way, more than Nelson, 16 for Fairfield.
Yeah, we're really their state is really clamping down on Nelson. He's making it hard for him to get to the basket or get an open shot.
Big free throw from Capita to hit the front end of the 1-1. We told you earlier, a really good free throw shooter, better than 88% last year in his prep year. About 73% this year.
For a big guy, that's awesome. Because you see these days, a lot of guys his size can't shoot free throws.
Cobb, little stop, start. Great pass inside to Millen, who will use the window.
Yeah, that was a great athletic play by Cobb, getting it to Millen on the baseline.
Curtis Cobb shows you why he's a part of that great sophomore class here for Fairfield, why he was the all-MAC freshman team last year. Here's Capita, long baseline jumper, spins out, offensive board to Rowan, and nearly got up in the air without knowing where he was going. Long 2 from Henderson. Follow up by Johnson.
That was a great follow up by Johnson.
2 offensive rebounds for NC State lead to the bucket. Cobb the other way. Just does get by Yurt-7's interior defense.
And there's that transition defense again. They score and we don't get back and they get a layup. State scores.
Johnson gives it up to Yurt-7, and that's just a chippy for him.
Great pass by Johnson in the lane to the big fella.
Markel Johnson has been fairly quiet in this game, but getting some big minutes here and playing well. Cobb still probing through the lane, and Yurt-7 is going to be called for the bump. That's now 3 fouls on the 7-footer from Turkey. So Cobb will be shooting free throws when we come back for a break. Terry Henderson, 22 points, leading the way for the Wolfpack, and Johnson playing nicely. Back here with Ernie Myers, I'm Andrew Sanders. Glad you could join us this afternoon on the ACC Network Extra. Terry Henderson has been the guy offensively for the Wolfpack. He's been making a lot of threes. You see NC State better than 50%, but Fairfield about 26%, 8 of 31. That's an awful lot of threes to have taken at this point in the game, or really just in a game in general, Ernie. Do you feel like they're settling a bit?
Yeah, they are, but they're trying to get back into the game. And they shoot a lot of threes throughout the season, but right now they're kind of settling because they're down a lot and they're trying to get back in the game.
They've turned the Wolfpack over 10 times, looking to pressure him with the basketball here. 12-point game as we go under the 11-minute mark here in the second half. And it's not a lineup that we've seen on the floor before in this game for Mark Godfrey. Inside look, Yurt-7 misses point blank, and the ball will stay on this end.
But those are shots he'll make as the season progresses. He's still trying to get his legs underneath him. Game shape as opposed to, practice shape is a lot different.
Sure.
So he's trying to get his legs underneath him, couple of more games, he'll dunk that.
You can see with his size just how open it is. Even though there's a guy right on him, he can just shoot it over top of you. Ball knocked away from Rowan. Capita regathers it. Here's Henderson. Dicing, tried to lay it off. Still 10 to shoot.
There you go.
And right there, Fairfield playing so hard defensively, but NC State making him defend for a long time. And eventually, there's a steal from Johnson. And Nelson is called for the foul.
Yeah, State's been very patient on offense and getting the best shot they can get. York's dumped down to York. That was a great dump down pass and score for the big fella.
Second foul on Nelson, and the 19th foul. We'll take another look at it, and boy, Johnson, as quick as a flash, a few games ago against Loyola Chicago, Markel Johnson made the defensive play. It was a steal. He had a couple of steals late in the game to really seal that victory. And here's Nelson the other way with a steal of his own.
Again, you need a guy like Markel Johnson on your team.
Nelson's open, and he parries it. Johnson thought about that one for a while, drew the defense, and got it to the hot shooter.
Yeah, you can't leave Nelson open like that in the corner. He's going to knock that down 9 times out of 10.
Rowan falling away.
That was a tough shot.
A long rebound. Here come the Stags. Oh, he gets all the way through to Nelson. Little runner. And Sidibe, that's 5 on him.
He's out.
So a tough break for the Stags as Coach Johnson tried to sneak him back in there, and fighting for that offensive rebound, what he does so well. He'll pick up his 5th foul.
Yeah, he's a garbage guy. And like you said, he has all these double-doubles coming into this game. He's almost averaging a double-double. It's just tough. State is just too big inside for him.
So Fairfield's going to have to find another way without the graduate, the 5th-year senior, Amadou Sidibe. He has been just a revelation for them this year. As a team captain as a sophomore, really a leader on the team, but they really weren't expecting him to be back after a couple of knee surgeries last year, and was able to stick with it. And then going forward into this year, they were expecting him to be a leader, but they weren't expecting him to be this good, and he has been playing lights out with that knee injury, but the fouls just took him completely out of this game, and he puts here at 7 on the line.
Yeah, he's been hustling, but it's just we just too big down low for him, and he wasn't able to get the rebounds or to score the points he's been doing previous in the season.
Here at 7, missed the free throw. Was 3 for 4 in his season opener against Appalachian State. He misses the pair. So Sidibe is out, and we'll see how that affects Fairfield, but for the time being, only down 11. Cobb attacking, no good. That's one he's got to make. Fancy for Markel Johnson. Dennis Smith Jr. back into the game for Mark Godfrey. Johnson passes up an open 3. Dennis Smith with 5 to shoot. Driving on Cobb. Unreal finish.
Unbelievable. Great drive by Dennis Smith.
And that move shows you why some people think he might just be the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft next year. Certainly in the conversation to be top 5. How about Kasababu stepping outside? He knocks down the 3. That's his first of the season.
And he looked comfortable taking that. It looked like he knocked that down, not even thinking about it.
He had been 0 for 3 on the year before that one. Abu, 10-footer, got it.
Those are the shots Abu needs. He needs to make those shots and take those shots.
So Abu is into double figures. That's now 4 for the Wolfpack. Kasababu, he was just a little too far out to slam it home. Had to use the glass.
I thought he got caught in between. He wanted to slam it or he wanted to make a shot. He was caught in between.
There's Dennis Smith. 14 for Smith. 4 of 5 from the 3-point line.
See, again, Dennis is a shot maker.
He's got 10 points in every game this year. 1 of 4 in the double figures for Mark Gottfried this afternoon. The Wolfpack has opened up a 15-point lead here in Raleigh. NC State up 15 at the media timeout, the under 8 timeout. I'm Andrew Sanders here with Ernie Myers. NC State leads at 80-65. Ernie, all 9 Wolfpack players that have played have scored. 4 of them are in double figures. Torin Dorn and Malik Abu have 10. Dennis Smith Jr. has 14. And Terry Henderson with 22 points. There he is, number 3 in white. And so much is made about the guys that were missing from this team earlier. Yurt Seven and Capita and Rowan. But Terry Henderson, they missed him dearly last year. And he, like Dorn, like Dennis Smith, the trio that are in that quote-unquote rescue squad for the Wolfpack, having to play their way into game shape, as you said. They hadn't played in at least a year, in some cases 2. And it looks like it's starting to come together.
Yeah, it's starting to come together for State. These guys are, you like to see a balanced scoring attack. You know, if you get 5 guys in double figures, that's awesome for your team.
Oh, that hesitation move from Dennis Smith Jr. was excellent, but a little too good, says Tim Nestor. He carried the basketball.
He went in for the monster slam on that one. He got caught up. But, yeah, he kind of carried the ball on that play.
So Cobb will bring the ball up the floor. Fairfield needing a basket here. And, again, we've talked about the pace a couple of times this afternoon. 80-65 with more than 7 minutes left. I could get used to this.
Yeah, you and me both.
You know, when they changed the rules last year and the shot clock 30 seconds and, you know, made the fouls a little more stringent, at least in the early going until guys got used to them to help out with freedom of movement. This was the idea. More scoring. More scoring from Dennis Smith. 17 for him.
He's going to get his average and then some if he stays in the game.
Cobb trying to answer. Just not there. And I tell you what, partner, I think most people would agree with me early on. Smith will try again. Little heat check. At least early on when we saw more fouls last year, I said, I don't know if I'm on board with this. But if it's going to lead to more games being like this and the up and down nature, I'm okay with it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the way these guys are hustling and, like you said, the new rule change, the 30-second clock. You get the flow of the game going. Guys are getting open shots. Dennis Smith is just unbelievable on the break. He makes it look very easy.
Dorn got his hand on this, and then Cobb wishes he hadn't. A little 8-0 run for the Wolfpack. And again, this is coming with Amadou Sidibe fouled out. Fairfield shooting a lot of threes, not getting those offensive rebounds.
Good pass.
And there's the move.
Our State's interior passing has been great this game. Big man to big man.
I mean, you can see the focus offensively, just really attacking the paint.
Yeah, Sidibe is out, and the other big guy has some fouls, and so they're taking advantage of that.
Johnson in rhythm. No, and that's another 3 missed. That's 38 3-pointers. And a steal from Nelson. He'll try a 39th. That was blocked by Yurt Seven. And he gave a little Mutombo finger wag after that one.
Yeah, he gave him a little attitude after that. He didn't make that, but he has to take that shot.
Johnson. Oh, tough move. And he hit the underside of the rim. You can just see how dangerous this Fairfield team is going to be as Johnson continues to get healthier.
Great pass by Dennis Smith.
NC State now up 22 points. It has been a flurry of baskets here.
Oh, absolutely.
Kasababu, he made his first 3 of the season, not going to knock down his second there.
I thought rain was going to come down on that shot.
NC State looking for more. I mean, they just come at you in waves.
Yeah, you can't leave that guy open in the corner like that. It looks great on the release. Can't leave that guy open either. Nelson, he's a good ball player.
Fairfield will call timeout, but NC State going on a huge run. They've got 90 points as we head to the final media timeout. The Wolfpack can really score it. Tonight on ESPN, wrap up your weekend with SportsCenter at Night with John Bushagras. And Boomer and Herm will be there down there with breakdowns from Week 15 in the NFL. It's the best place for your sports shopping needs. SportsCenter at night, also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. NC State on a run right now. Dorn quickly kisses it off the glass, and over the last 4 minutes, it's a 17-2 run for NC State.
Yeah, they're really taking it to them right now. State is hot. Great pass by Dennis Smith.
A Fairfield team that shoots 46% per game. Just hasn't quite had that here this afternoon. They're at 36% overall. Dennis Smith nearing a double-double. He's got 17 points, 9 assists. And that's just a great outlet right there for Yurt 7. Dorn got into a little trouble, finds the perfect spot.
Absolutely. He just didn't even just flicker the wrist and knocked it down. Great interior shot by the big fella, but great fast pass by Dorn.
Fairfield stepping into PNC Arena, hanging tough for quite a while. You got to give them credit, especially after having not played in 12 days. But right now,
great drop step power move by the big fella.
It's all NC State here in the second half. Henderson out on Nelson. With 10 to shoot. It's Millen, and it's out of play.
That was a great defensive possession for NC State. Terry Henderson really did that guy.
Dennis Smith Jr. will get a good hand from the crowd.
He really kept Nelson in front of him and caused that turnover.
A couple of subs in here for the Wolfpack as Smith gets the hand. Darius Hicks, Sean Kirk, Markel Johnson in. And for Fairfield, a couple of players being brought in as well. First time we've seen Olivier Kaju this afternoon. And Hicks just couldn't hold on to it.
Yeah, that was a good pass by Kirk.
Kaju is a freshman point guard from Montreal. Interesting note, Ernie, on Fairfield. They're 5-3 on the season. They're already 1-1 in conference play in the MAC, the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
They're picked 5th in the conference.
That's the conference that Monmouth is in. Big block.
And Iona is in.
And so Monmouth, when they got passed over for an at-large last year, it's interesting. They play a balanced schedule at this point, and that's why they play so early in the season, is because they try to play everyone in the conference home and away. Next year, they're going to go away from that and start playing a more traditional, in this day and age, where you don't play everyone home and home. And that's mostly because Monmouth, who was so good last year, had some big wins, didn't get an at-large bid. So they don't want to, you see their upcoming schedule is Henderson gets a really nice hand coming out, and Chris Brickhouse is in. Fairfield against Boston College. They've beaten the Eagles 10 times in their history. That's coming up next, and that is actually a neutral site game that's going to be held in Uncasville, Connecticut, as part of that Birthday of Basketball Classic. And so Fairfield's
going to be very competitive in their conference.
Yeah, no doubt. Really young team last year. Talked to you about the freshmen that are now sophomores. They've got the leading scorer in the conference in Nelson. They've got the leading rebounder in the conference in Sidibe. And a team that will compete with the top, with the Monmouths and the Ionas. And it just makes it all the more impressive, the showing here this afternoon from NC State. Lob not there, but the crowd certainly wanted it.
Markel looked like Curly Neal on that play.
Here's Millen to the rim, and he'll score. This guy, Matija Millen, from Serbia, he speaks 8 languages.
Wow.
And a blocking foul will be called. And here comes more subs for both teams as both coaches starting to clear the benches.
Kirk has an NBA body. He's just a super athlete. He usually gets a dunk in before the game is out.
Johnson has really struggled from the free throw line this year, particularly for a point guard. Tucker Thompson in for NC State, and Chris Corciani Jr. also waiting to come in. Nelson, Segura, Millen come out for Fairfield. In is Jared Harper, number 4, along with Andrew Leone, a senior guard at 5'6", and number 10, Thomas Nolan. So they join Kaju.
I love
and
seeing
Shelley.
the bench players get in. That's when you know your team is good, because you know guys that are sitting in practice all day and they running plays for you, they get a chance to get out here and break a sweat.
Leone guarded by Corciani Jr. Leone will fire for 3, and he knocks it down. That gets a cheer from some of the Wolfpack fans here as well. Kirk, this is for 100. And a foul on the rebound. It looked to be, at one point, a sure thing that NC State was going to get to triple digits. Now it's a bit in doubt, and the fans wanted that one.
Yeah, I think they'll break the 100-point mark. Somebody's going to score at the end of the game.
Wolfpack no field goals in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so they've been sitting in the mid-90s for quite a while. So Kaju will go to the line. 21-year-old freshman point guard, again from Canada, makes the first. He's playing behind Segura right now. I think he has a bright future ahead of him.
It's a 21-year-old freshman. Sure. There's a nice stroke.
Leone up on Corciani. He's trapped. Gets it away to Thompson. Nearly turned it over, but Hicks able to retrieve it. The backdoor cut. There's Kirk. This is a guy that, you said it, he's athletic, and if they didn't have so many options, he'd be getting more minutes.
Oh, absolutely. He has a pro body.
He did play some last year as a freshman, got in against Appalachian State, threw down an absolute hammer of a dunk. And with 10 seconds left, the fans want triple digits. Not going to happen here this afternoon, but it is a convincing win for Mark Gottfried and the NC State Wolfpack. Our final score, NC State 99, Fairfield 78. The Pack improves to 9-2. Fairfield moves to 5-4. Ernie, your final thoughts on this afternoon's ball game?
I thought that Fairfield came and played a tough NC State ball club. State was ready to play. They were good in transition, defense, and offense for this game.
So that'll do it for our broadcast here in Raleigh. For our great crew, my partner Ernie Myers, I'm Andrew Sanders saying so long. Final score, NC State 99, Fairfield 78. This has been a presentation of ESPN.